would describe this as a modern Greek mythology about two twin sisters who embark on a journey to kill their father at the request of their mother, who is on their deathbed and explains to them that he is the reason that they are all severely burned.
Racine is one of the twins in Is God Is, with a burn on her hand, and that burn, it's clear that her sister has a burn on her face, but I don't have any burns on my face, and this burn that goes all the way up to my arm allows me to be the voice of the two of us in the world, and what it means to navigate the world means that she's holding a lot. I think they're both holding a lot, but I think that Racine is holding a lot and speaking for the both of them in a way, so she's titled as the rough one.
Yeah, and in contrast to that, I think that because because Racine is the bolder one and kind of the mouthpiece for the two of them, Anaia is a lot more withdrawn, and she's a lot more thoughtful, and she's a lot more reserved. But I think that she's described as the quiet one, but I think it's more that she's just she's got this quiet strength, really. And I think that it's a way of protecting herself, and in this codependent relationship that we have, Anaia is a lot less bold at the beginning of the story. It was so incredibly theatrical, even though it was a film script. I mean, I wasn't familiar with the fact that it was a play prior to receiving the script. I heard from a friend that it was a play, and he was like, you need to do this. This is serious. This is amazing. Like, this writer is amazing. And he was absolutely right. I read it and I was blown away. And I think I was blown away so much by the fact that it felt grand. Like, that's how I would describe it when I read it. It felt grand. It bounced off the page. It was like this boundless story that I could just see all the facets of. And it's got this like ancient, there's something really ancient about it, even though it's incredibly modern and it's incredibly now and stylistic and cool. It's got this like these roots about it that feel so old and like they come from this higher place. And I think that's because Aleshea is just an incredible writer who knows how to draw from insane places in her mind.
Yeah, I find this thriller of a movie to be, a absolute tragedy, absolute Greek tragedy, in the sense that, when we get to the root of their burns, of their tragic burns, we find out that their father wanted to kill them and leave them for dead, leave all of them for dead. And, it reminds me of, the Greek tragedies, and thinking about the tragedies like Medea, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But like the depth of these stories and where these characters, like what their whys are, and the reasoning for them to do the things that they do. Two young women who happen to be twins, who suffer from a traumatic injury and as children, and receiving a letter years later from their dying mother, is the thing that changes everything. This story, it is an epic road trip. It is an epic journey of two people, two twins, finding the cause and the roots of their pain, and clipping the roots from the ground.
Absolutely.
An original, a Gothic Southern Western, a film that you can watch with your families, by yourself, with your partner. And it's a thriller.
Yes.
It's
a heck of a ride.
It's a wild, wild ride that you will analyze for a very long time.
It's also sexy, crazy, and cool. How about that?
Yeah.
Crazy, sexy, cool, thriller. A heck of a ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a nutshell. Okay.
I think Is God Is the title. It makes me think about who gets to play God.
Yes.
Do we get to play God? What does that look like? And I actually have never asked the writer director Aleshea Harris what it means, because I love that it can mean so many different things. And I don't like talking over art. I think people should go watch the film and they will come out with their own interpretation of what that title means.
I had a wonderful time playing God. I will not kid you. I mean, I got to work with the little girls as twins who were so adorable,
they were so
and
cute.
so well behaved, and kind of got the magic of movie making. And then to work with Kara and Mallori as the grown-up twins, for me was incredible. The acting, the direction that I received from Aleshea, our director, who just made sure that we all remembered where we were at. She was very specific and very clear. For me, it just made my filmmaking experience wonderful. And then I got to escape with prosthetics and
transform.
Yes, got to transform, and it was great.
Aleshea Harris.
Yeah.
She's the unique.
The tone comes from
The unique is
the
Aleshea.
writer and director. I mean, you just mentioning like dark humor. I don't think we even talked about that enough. Like this film is going to have you laughing at stuff. You're like, am I supposed to be laughing at that? Like it's gonna hit all the comedic notes for you, especially your character.
Lord.
Divine, I was on the floor. Like I could not believe some of the things that came out of her mouth. And I think that when you're dealing with something so tragic, you have to have the balance. And I think comedy is a wonderful way. Dark, light, medium comedic relief is always important when you're dealing with something as vengeful as this film.
And you said something a little bit earlier about the human experience, you know, that people will be able to relate to. With the three women and their experience with one man, the audience will totally be able to relate. I know a friend like that. I know a sister like that. I know an auntie, you know, the experience of love, you know, comes in many forms.
Is God is about a pair of twin sisters who are orphans. They don't know the story of their origins. They have scars. They don't know how they got the scars. They get a letter from their mother, and their mother reveals to them the nature of those scars and family history that sends them on a journey where they discover a lot of things about themselves and each other. Life is never going to be the same again. So the story was inspired by an idea I had to see what would happen if I created a story that was inspired by ancient Greek tragedy, but populated by people who look and sound like myself. And as it grew, I was thinking a lot about just things I'm interested in the culture and things that frustrate me. I really wanted to give Black women's anger center stage unapologetically. I love a revenge story, so I was interested in that. I love this relationship between the sisters and their love of one another and what we could do with that. So it was like a playground for myself. I just got to do what I wanted. Is God is both an insistence, right? We learned from the movie that Racine has named their mother God. She gives her power as her creator, as someone who's been an orphan and has felt sort of like she's had a life in the shadows. It's tremendous to her. She's like Cinderella at the ball when she meets her mother. So her mother has a lot of power and sends her on this mission. So it's for her, it's an insistence. God exists. I must do as she says. Once she gets, the commandment from God, she's going to follow it. She's like a missionary going off to do this thing. And give God what she wants. So for Anaia, though, is God is a question. It's like, who is this person? what is this person? Does this person validate me and my sister? Is there an ulterior motive? She's more hesitant than her sister, I think, in all things. Yeah, and you know, that's basically what the title means. I was excited to have so many more resources. To have the camera as an, you know, obvious tool in filmmaking was tremendous because it allowed me to shape the vision of the film quite differently. I was really excited to think about cinematography and the visual language with the production designer and obviously the costumer. I hadn't worked as a director in the theater, so to have this level of power over the vision was amazing, and intimacy with the images that I created and the characters that I created. I mean, all of it. There's so much to say about what was exciting and new. Getting to actually move places, right? It's a road story. So getting them in a car, figuring out what the car was. There were so many more details that I got to explore and so many things I discovered about the story through that exploration. So Kara, I sort of knew from the theater world, and she brings tremendous honesty to the role. She has a quality, I remember in the auditions, like she's quite petite, but like you don't know what she's about to do, and it's a little bit scary, which we needed for Racine, but we also needed her vulnerability. We needed her tenderness. We needed to see that this was a woman who was complex. She's not just any one color. And Kara plays that beautifully. Mallori plays Anaia equally beautifully. With Mallori, what I noticed in our callbacks was her tremendous emotional accessibility. Like her well is so deep. She's very, very honest, and she asks great dramaturgical questions. Like she wants to know, and her wanting to know drives me to think more deeply about what I've written. And she also, kind of like with Kara, we needed an Anaia who was complex. She couldn't just be sort of weak and downtrodden. She needed to be a young woman who had many colors, who could also be quite fierce, was ready to fight on behalf of herself and her sister. And Mallori was able to pull that off. They're tremendous.